Little girl dials wrong emergency number when her father faints. 100 bikers showed up. The rain tapped a gentle, rhythmic code against the window pane of the small, cozy house on Clover Lane. Inside 6-year-old Emily Carter's world, everything was safe. Her father, Daniel, was her entire universe. A single dad who worked 2 jobs but always made time for bedtime stories and pancake breakfasts. But on this particular Tuesday afternoon, the safety of their world shattered in an instant. Daniel had been fixing a leaky faucet in the kitchen when he suddenly clutched his chest, his face draining of color. With a heavy thud that echoed through the quiet house, he collapsed onto the linoleum floor, unconscious. Emily, playing with her dolls in the living room, heard the noise and ran to see what happened. What she found froze the blood in her veins. Her daddy wasn't moving, and he wasn't breathing right. Panic, cold and sharp, seized the little girl. She remembered her father teaching her about emergency numbers. "If anything ever goes wrong, sweetie, you call 911, he had said. Trembling, Emily grabbed the cordless phone from the charger. Her small fingers fumbled over the buttons. In her terror, she missed the 1 and hit a 0 instead. Then, trying to correct it, she dialed a sequence of numbers she didn't recognize, a wrong number born of pure fear. On the other end of the line, the phone rang in a noisy clubhouse filled with the smell of engine oil and leather. Jack Hayes, the president of the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club, answered. He expected a prank or a wrong connection. Instead, he heard a tiny, sobbing voice. "Please, my daddy won't wake up. I think he's broken." Jack's demeanor shifted instantly. A former EMT before he founded the club, he recognized the tone of genuine crisis. "Hey there, little one. My name is Jack. You are going to be okay, but I need you to listen to me very carefully," he said, his voice a low, grounding rumble. For the next 3 minutes, Jack became Emily's lifeline. He guided her through checking Daniel's pulse, instructing her on how to roll him onto his back and keep his airway clear. "You are so brave, Emily. Keep talking to me. Tell me your address." When Emily stammered out Clover Lane, Jack didn't hang up. He shouted across the room, "Emergency on Clover. We move now." What happened next was nothing short of a miracle. Within moments, the roar of engines replaced the sound of the rain. It wasn't just Jack, it was the Brotherhood. 91 bikers, men and women clad in cuts and patches, mounted their machines. They weren't a gang of outlaws that day. They were an army of compassion. They tore down the highway, a thunderous procession of chrome and steel, clearing traffic as they surged toward the little house. When they arrived, the sight was surreal. Massive motorcycles lined the street, their engines idling like sleeping beasts. Jack rushed inside, followed closely by Rodrigo and Patty, 2 club members who were also certified first responders. While Jack kept Emily distracted and calm in the hallway, telling her jokes about his dog, Rodrigo and Patty went to work on Daniel. They assessed the situation with professional precision. Daniel was in cardiac arrest. Working in perfect sync, they began CPR, taking turns compressing his chest while Patty managed his airway. The contrast was striking. Rough, tattooed hands performing delicate, life-saving measures with incredible tenderness. "Stay with us, Dan," Rodrigo whispered, sweat beading on his forehead. "Your girl needs you." Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the wail of sirens approached. Paramedics burst through the door, taking over immediately. As they loaded Daniel onto the stretcher, one of the medics looked at the sea of bikers filling the small yard and nodded in respect. "Good work," he said. "You bought him time." At the hospital, the news came later that evening. Daniel had survived. The quick intervention of the Iron Brotherhood had kept oxygen flowing to his brain until professional help arrived. When Daniel finally opened his eyes days later, the first thing he saw wasn't a doctor, but Jack Hayes sitting in the corner, holding a sleeping Emily in his lap. The story of the little girl who dialed the wrong number spread quickly, becoming a beacon of hope in a world often divided by appearances. It taught everyone who heard it that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear leather vests and ride motorcycles. It proved that kindness can come from the most unexpected places and that second chances are real. Daniel recovered fully, and the Carter family formed an unbreakable bond with the Iron Brotherhood. Every year, on the anniversary of that rainy day, 91 bikes gather on Clover Lane, not to ride, but to celebrate life, family, and the power of a simple act of kindness. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that there is still good in the world, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us spread these messages of hope to millions. Don't forget to tell us in the comments where you were watching from today. Let's keep the chain of kindness growing. Thanks for watching.